I just got some crazy news. My mortgage just went from $4,500 to $6,050, and it'll be effective March the 1st. I have never considered a bank, but I got this black hat and this black mask because, I mean, at this point, like, what the do you expect? I'm trying to keep my kids in decent schools. I'm trying to, I mean, what the do you expect?
Guys, what's good? Mortgages are going crazy. They're going through the roof, y'all, and people got stuff to say about it. It's wild out here. To go from 4,500 to like that's a lot, y'all. That's a huge jump. And it's what's crazy is it's happening all over all the time, and it's more and more prevalent. And it's really it's tough because that's like a part of the American dream, quote unquote, right? Is to get that house, get the good paying job, get the house, live in for 40 years, and then retire and all this stuff. And it's messing up a lot of retirement dreams right now. Mortgages just going sky high, they're ballooning up, payments that people aren't expecting. And I think personally, it's causing a lot of backfiring on foreclosures along with all this other stuff. It's a lot going on at one time right now. You got people getting laid off in all industries, all spaces. And then you top that with now people's mortgages are going through the roof. It's crazy out here, for real. guys, tell me why my mortgage went from, don't judge me here, 3,200 a month to 5,600 a month. Backstory here is I was looking for a house back in 2022, and I put in offers on multiple homes. So we decided to go, I'm sorry, they got declined, and they wanted 50 to 60 grand over asking price for the homes with no contingencies and all that kind of stuff. Long story short, I bought a new home with Ryan Homes. The worst decision I've ever made in my life, I swear to God, and I am paying for it till right now. Long story short, I'm actually selling that home right now. Bought a mortgage with Ryan Homes, and I am the last house that's built on this subdivision, the absolute last house. When I signed on the dotted line, my mortgage was 32 and some change. And I was fine with that because that's what I expected, the size of the home, X, Y, Z, yada, yada, yada. Come to find out that, again, I had a realtor during this time, but with new construction, Ryan Homes doesn't pay the realtor a commission. So I was like, well, okay. I'm not going to ask him to come in and do any kind of work because he's not going to get compensated for it. So I let him know what I was doing, and then ended up being no realtor. So anyway, next thing I know, I get the first tax bill on the property with land. On the property with the home built. The taxes were $16,000. $16,000. So that's not not the half of it. So I then go call, like, hey, is this right? Is this correct? Like, yeah, that's your correct property taxes. We're not sure why, but Ryan Holmes should did your estimate based off what your taxes could be on the home because you're the last home built. So there's plenty of comps in the area that they can use as, hey, your taxes could be this. However, they use taxes off the land because it's going to show you a cheaper mortgage. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so what do you have to do? Well, you got to pay them so your property taxes go up. Okay. The next part of this is that being that my property taxes will be this, and being that the property taxes were underestimated for that year of 2023, I believe it was,
Now my escrow account is negative $11,000. My escrow account is negative $11,000 because Ryan Holmes only used property taxes on the land. So now I not only have to get my current property taxes updated into my mortgage, now I have the rears back taxes in my mortgage. People, when I tell you, I almost lost my shit. I did lose my shit. I'm not gonna lie. I lost my shit. I completely lost my shit because it's something they don't tell you about new construction. And people will say, "Oh, you should have had your realtor. You should have had your attorney." And that I guess I take the hit on that because I'm thinking I'm not gonna use my realtor who I've been using to show me these houses because Ryan Holmes, they don't pay a commission off the sale. So I'm like, man, that's not right. I'm not gonna use my realtor to come in and do free work. I'm gonna have to pay out of pocket for my realtor. And then it was, yeah. So mortgage went from 32 to 5,600 a month. And I'm like, yo, this can't be right. So now I'm looking up property taxes in Libertyville and Vernon Hills on houses that are places, nicer areas than this. This is Antioch, Illinois. No knock against Antioch, but it's not Libertyville, it's not Vernon Hills. It's nothing. There's no restaurants. I mean, there is a few, but it's not built out like that. The infrastructure isn't in place like those places is. And I'm just kind of like, what the So, long story short, I know I said that before, but this fast forward. I'm sorry saying that. Fast forward. Unfortunately, the home that I thought I was going to be in for 7-10 years that my kids would grow up in, I'm selling. I'm selling that home because we can't afford it, and I refuse to be house poor and paying for a house that I'm just trying to keep up with. There's no way possible I'm going to. And let me say this too: is that the mortgage would end up being, even if I didn't have the taxes in the rear, escrow account, the mortgage will still end up being. I did the math. It was like 4,000 something a month, right? Because my principal and interest was like 27. The property tax was like another 13 something. So it was like 4,100 a month. No, absolutely not. I refuse to pay $4,100 on a house, property taxes on that amount, and you don't have anything to go off of. So, yeah, guys, if you are thinking of doing new construction, if you are thinking going with a Ryan Holmes, if you are thinking going with any new construction, any new development, specifically Ryan Holmes, make sure that you look on that paper and it doesn't say, when it says taxes, make sure you ask them, is this property on the house after it's built what it could be or before? Because if you see something that says, unless you're in a different area, stuff like that, I get it. I'm in Antioch, Illinois. If you see something that's like $2,000 or $3,000, property taxes, make sure you ask them, hey, is this on before the house is built or after the house is built? Because they can estimate what your taxes are going to be based off what they sold you the house for, right? They can do that. So, will they? Probably not. But again, Ryan Holmes, because you screwed me. You have effed over my life, and this has set me back tremendously. I did a lot of hard work to build my credit, save money for a home, and I just gave it away because it's crazy. There should be something in the laws that says new construction builders should have to show you property taxes on what the home value, what your property taxes are going to be, because that would change everything. That would change your mortgage. That would change everything. And I would have told them, no, I'm good. I'm not buying this. I'm gonna keep looking. But it is what it is. Looking for a new home. Here's to chapter 2. Starting all over again.
Man, got that dude bad. I mean, and this is the case for a lot of people all over, right? Like you save all your money, right? It ain't cheap to get a house, let alone get one built, right? You might have to put down 10, 20%, all this kind of stuff. So, saved up all your money and got your credit right, all this stuff, only to get underclipped, right? Get the rug pulled out from under you when you think your mortgage is $3,200 a month and that joint go up to 56. He said he was in Illinois. I'm in Texas. $5,600 mortgage here, bro. You got a little mini mansion, and from what it sounds like, that's not what he had there. And so yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to pay 56 either for sure. If you ain't getting like all the value for that. The other side of it is, it was something he mentioned in there, like he wanted to stay there for at least 7 to 10 years, and that's right around statistics. Statistically, the average uh, homeowner stays in the home for about 7 years. And what's crazy about that is when they're not really thinking about that up front. So at least he actually had that in the thought process. Most people, they're like, I'm going to stay in this house forever. And that's not the case. Like, even when stuff is going right, the they stay in there 7 years and then they do it all over again. So you got to really count up the cost to see if that's worth it for you. Right. Like, a guy that I heard this, here's how he put it. He said, rent where you stay and buy what you rent. And the reason he said that is so that he could have autonomy when he's moving, so he can move around when he wants to. And the main reason that is because, man, let's be honest. Have y'all ever moved somewhere and then y'all was like, yeah, this is the spot. And then all of a sudden, 5 years down the line, you start looking around like, man, these ain't the same people that I moved in around. You clutching your purse a little bit more, right? You locking up, making sure stuff is locked up, double and triple time because the neighborhood has changed. And now you want to get out of there, but that's not what you said at first. You said you was gonna be here 40 years. But most people, they do end up leaving, and the average is about 7 years. So, just keeping that in mind. Also, I mean, I was looking, and I'll go through some of the comments from this video too, because it was just that one was tough, right? That's a big jump, man. 32 to 56 is crazy, crazy work. And I was going through some of the comments, and basically, here's one right here. It said, they said because you bought on a variable rate, and rates have gone up, then taxes increased, and then like it was just saying, like insurance companies, they've gotten greedy, they doubled their rates, and they were saying basically like that's why it's not Ryan Holmes, it's because of that variable rate. And so, somebody that was a what is it? And then somebody said, not true. Mine went up and my rates is still 5.99. The issue is escrow and taxes. Bottom line, make sure you have your stuff straight, when you looking to buy these homes and all this stuff. Me and my wife and I, we've been waiting for a while. Like, could we have gotten it like maybe 7, 8 years ago? Yes. I think we would have been in a position like this, or we just would have been moving. Like, we would have found something, and then stuff changed. My wife, like, good vanity stuff, not vanity stuff. What is it called? The amenities and all. Like, she wants the cabinets to be right and all this kind of stuff. So we probably would have been moving or trying to redo it and all this stuff. So I was like, let's just try and wait. And now, now we definitely are making sure that this stuff is going to be right. Right. In the times that we're in now, you got to make tactical decisions, and not just going out on a whim, because I'm not saying he did that, obviously, but it's stuff that you don't know. Another thing I saw is they were saying that stuff like this happens, especially on the new builds, because what they do is they take the taxes, like he was saying, they take those taxes when it's just land. And he said he was one of the last homes built, so he definitely should have known what those end taxes were going to be. But there were some people who they were like one of the first builds. So you're out there and the taxes are done when it's just land. And then after all the houses are built, then that next year or year, 2 years, well, now they reassess with the value with all the houses that have been built on top of the land. So now it goes through the roof, which means your payment goes up if they didn't, let you know about that at the beginning. But when you don't know, you don't know. So y'all know that's what this channel is about, just learning, figuring out about mistakes and how we can get better. It's not about making fun of people. It's not about, laughing at people's pain. Like, this is about, hey, what can I learn from these situations? It's crazy out here, man. Lastly, on the comments with this one, somebody said, a realtor here, always remember that the sales rep with new constructions don't work for you. They work for and represent the builder. Have your own people that represent you always. So I thought that was really good. I thought it was something that we definitely could relate to and think about. But yeah, man, this is tough out here for sure. Skis.
They got me, y'all. And I knew they was gonna get me, but I didn't know they was gonna get me this hard. It's only been 6 months in this. And my mortgage is going up $700. I knew it was gonna be crazy because the previous owners, like the people who bought it to renovate it, they were only paying land value, even though the house had been on the market with this current rate and a current county appraisal for X amount of months. But I don't know, somehow they only were paying land value. And then I lost my ID twice. It took them 3 months to send me an ID right before the election. So I wasn't able to file my homestead exemption. And my escrow now has an overage of the amount that I owe in taxes, which is going to put my payment up $700. So yeah, hey.
Yeah, $700 after 6 months. That's what was crazy about that. Like, I mean, you hadn't even been in there a year, and they already rose that joint up another $600. Could you imagine that? And the thing is, I went through. Somebody was asking because she didn't really it wasn't really clear if this was $600 for the year, right? Like divided by 12, or if it was extra $600 a month. And I clicked on that video, and she said, "No, this is an extra $600 a month." So, yeah, that's bro. I said 7, so it was an extra $700 a month for her mortgage that it just went up in 6 months. So that's crazy, man. Like to see that this is what people are having to deal with and go through is, I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. So, but like I said, y'all already know these are definitely, if I can find it, or if I know, I'll say it. But if I can find something that can explain why this stuff happens or ways to combat it, y'all know I'm going to put it in here for y'all, because for me, it's all about learning and making sure we know what to do and how to do it better. So anyways, if y'all got some value out of this, like and subscribe to this video, like and subscribe to the channel. We definitely going to continue pushing on. But yeah, let's see what this guy has to say about actually combating this and how to not fall into one of these traps. Because, I mean, everyone wants a home, but you don't want to get got like this. Right. No matter what, whether we're in a recession or we're in a booming bull run, it don't matter. Nobody wants to get hit with an unexpected bill, especially $700, especially, $1,000+ more every month. So let's see what he has to say.
If you're buying a brand new home, you have to understand this disclosure right here. Now, this is where people get in trouble and they get confused. This is that payment from here. This is your escrow account. There is no way your property tax and your insurance is going to be covered by $127 a month. It's not going to happen. But they're allowed to tell you your estimated total payment is the combination of those two. So you pay that for a year and a half. However, they disclose to you that your escrow needs to have $513 a month in it. But they say property taxes, some of them are included in this payment. And they say that homeowners insurance is included and the HOA is not included in there. So if you get this statement, please send it to anyone you know buying a new home, because they need to understand this. Their payment is going to be this plus this. And if they're not saving the difference between those two numbers, they're going to have a payment shock. The reason why is your taxes are paid in arrears. So the first year you pay, they'll reevaluate and then they'll say, hey, there's a house on this land now. The tax is going to go up to this. And the escrow account's like, all right, cool. We just paid last year's. No harm, no foul. Then you pay a whole nother year and then they say, uh-oh, you're $300, $400 a month short. So moving into next year, we're going to have to collect that $300 to $400 a month short, and you're going to have to pay $300 to $400 a month more, making your payment $600 to $800 a month more to cover last year and the future, because your payment should have never been this number. I do not know how they're allowed to tell you that's your estimated total monthly payment, because it's not true. It's true in the fact that that's what the taxes are now, but they know damn well there's a house there because they're financing the entire house with the land that's just been built. And if you want more in depth about this process, if you don't understand it through the numbers, click the link in the original video. I go through like a 5-minute video of a lot of how insurance taxes can change. Insurance is paid ahead of time, so you can't get behind on it. Whereas taxes is paid in arrears, so you can get behind, so it doubles up and it jumps your payment shock, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. But this is why I love social media, because that video blew up. Hopefully this one does too, and it can help save people falling into this payment shock. And again, this is Florida. I've heard that other places send out payment shock letters, and that's nice because there's no reason people should be thinking that this is their payment for 30 years. When it literally shows you it should be 513 plus 1564. It's right there and right there. They just get away with, I don't know why they can't just make this.